Hey everyone, I wanted to share this bus with you and also try and give you a little breakdown of what these buses usually take to get to this point here. And so it pretty much starts out with some searching online. This particular bus we found for $9,800, well, almost 10 grand, right? Not running. It did start up, but it didn't stop. So I needed full brake work. But if you guys have noticed the prices right now, 10 grand for a bus that's okay, you know, not too much rust, is actually a pretty decent price. So of course it didn't look like this when we bought it, but so that's the starting point. So for this one in particular was 10 grand. Then you have transport to pick it up, which I'll post this video later. I'll put up some prices or whatever, but transportation to get it here, you're looking anywhere from, I don't know, I'll point it right here of what it might cost, and then what this one in particular costs. And that right there would be getting it here. So now it's here. Then it goes off to body shop for the most part. And depending if the body guy's in a good mood, if he's not too busy, if he's eager to take the job on, you might get a decent price. With body guys, it's really interesting because you never really know how much you're going to pay until you bring the bus there, because every bus is different. Every bus has a different condition. But for the most part, again, I'll put a little number up here of what it can range to, and even actually what this one ranged to. Just so you guys can get a decent total of how much money you're actually putting into this thing before it's even remotely decent looking. Then after that, it's going off to paint. Now, with the bodywork all done, paint is can be a little standard. So it's kind of in a way of, it's usually one particular price. Sometimes when you want to do two colors like this, there's more prep work involved. But for the most part, you can kind of guess what paint will end up being. It's kind of always the same. It's not like a bodywork where it just varies depending on the condition of the bus. So once that's done, it will usually from there go off to a mechanic. In this case, this bus did run, but it did need a full tune-up, oil change, spark plugs. I believe the total was I have to look. I'll put up all the prices of what it costs just to get the motor kind of in the best shape that you can get it in, you know, for a VW bus. Then it had this one needed full brake work. So full brake work, e-brake, the pads, master cylinder, all the rear cylinders, all that stuff. So now whatever that total is right there, I'll put it up somewhere. That total is basically a bus that has the body work done, it's painted, and it's running and stopping and driving. Okay, and then from that point, now we go on to the next level of what needs to be done to this thing to get it to a certain level, you know. These are not nuts and bolts restorations. They're really nice and clean, but they're not nuts and bolts. If this was nuts and bolts, this bus would be like 60 grand. Anyway, so the next part we go to is the headliner. So that goes off to the headliner shop, interior guy, and he puts the headliner in for us. And then with the headliner being done, all the seats are taken. Don't forget the seats, they have to be reupholstered. This front one in particular here was already with the bus. So the bus came with only the front seat. That's it. And it drove and it didn't stop. So that's how we got the bus. So it had this front seat already. I had to purchase this middle seat, which right here, I'll write again. I'll put what prices of some of these things cost, like the middle seat, what it costs, plus to reupholster it. The back seat as well. Back seat wasn't with it, so that comes with a price tag as well. I'll put that price up around here, so you can see what it costs. All these little trims and things like that white little trim there. Those are just little extra things you're gonna need with the headliner. Rubber floor mats. So once the headliner's done, the interior's done, then we would move on to things like these rubber pad covers here. So you'd need those, front carpets. This one didn't have middle windows, so we had to purchase these sliders right here for it. It actually comes with rubber. Pretty decent price. I'll put that up there too. We're starting to add up all these totals here. All these window seals get replaced. Window seals get replaced. The back window seal gets replaced. Some of these rubbers get replaced depending on how worn they are. We'll probably replace those. Of course, brand new tires. Gotta have brand new tires. Hubcaps. All this stuff here, all the accessories, all the trim. We'll just keep adding it up like a little total. I'll put right here, like, you know, there's this, there's the trim, there's the tires, there's the, you know, bing, 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 bing. Keep adding everything up to get an idea of what something like this costs just to get it to this point, which is, you know, above average, but not full restoration. And then these rubber covers. The rear view mirrors are new. Sun visors, things like that. Some buses get sun visors, some don't. It really just depends on overall what that bus needed to get to that certain point. And there's always a budget. You have to draw the line somewhere. You can't just, like a guy like me, I can't just keep putting money into a bus, and then it just wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd have to just quit because it just would get too expensive. I could easily spend, geez, the numbers here are going to add up. The totals are you're going to start to see them going up and up. You're like, bing, 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 all this stuff that it costs to get it to that point. And I think from that point on, we might be done with everything. And then the other thing would be like labor. So you're paying a body guy, you're paying a painter, pay for the booth, pay for them to spraying, paying for labor, you know, getting the windows put in, all this stuff. I do a lot of it, but honestly, a lot of times it's just too much work to do for one person to get everything done. So someone's putting in the window seals, the window trim, the upholstery shop's doing the interior, the headliner, the engine is mechanic, the brakes mechanic, tire shop is mounting the tires and balancing them. Yeah, and that's kind of a rundown of everything that these buses go through to kind of get it this way, you know, to get it looking decent and cute. You know, at some point down the road, when I can let a bus sit for a while, I would probably want to do a nuts and bolts restoration. And the reason why I say when I can afford to let it sit for a while is because a nuts and bolts restoration would probably run, I don't know, my guess would be like 30, it's got to be at least 30 grand just to get it, you know, kind of restored in a way to that look. It'd probably be more than 30 grand actually, because I mean, just a few things that I add up right here, it's already like way up there. So yeah, guys, and that's pretty much it, the rundown of stuff. You find it online, you pay whatever the price is that you pay for it. It's pretty pricey these days. You get it transported to you get it to a body guy, then it goes to a paint guy, then it goes, all the stuff goes to the interior guy, headliner. If the motor runs, mechanics still got to go through it anyway, full tune up. If it doesn't run, you're probably going to have a rebuild motor. If something ends up being wrong with the transmission, you're doing the transmission as well. All of these, for the most part, need like full brake work, like almost all of them, not all of them, but most of them do need full brake work. Everything in the brake system is completely brand new. They just sit for a while, and that's just, you have to do that. So there you go, guys. That's a little rundown. I try to keep it under 10 minutes there. And it's a beautiful 50-year-old car. It's a That's pretty nice for 50 years old. So yeah, you're buying a classic VW. And one other quick little thing that I forgot to mention too, with these to add up to the total is a lot of times you got to go through the electrical on it. You know, headlights might not work, blinkers might not work, tail lights might not work, wipers might not work, probably don't work. So you got to go through all that stuff too. That's another part there that